On Wednesday, the 22nd of October 2014, a number of people gathered in the cities of Esfahan and Tehran in protest against the unsafe situations of the cities and the numerous acid attacks on women. Protesters in Esfahan gathered in front of the judicial office and demanded immediate response towards the perpetrators of the crimes. Official reports state that more than 2,000 people participated in the gathering in Esfahan. During the gathering in front of the Esfahan judicial office, protesters raised the question to why no action has been taken in identifying the perpetrators when there are so many surveillance cameras installed in the streets of Esfahan. On Tuesday, the 21st of October 2014, around 700 telecom workers from several provinces in Iran traveled from their villages to the city of Tehran and formed a gathering in front of the parliament building in order to protest against the violations of their contract, insurance, and wages. On Sunday, the 19th of October 2014, Muhammad Baqir Ghalibaf, the mayor of Tehran, said that there are currently around 15,000 people homeless in the capital city of Iran. Due to being prevented from practicing law, Nasrin Sotoudeh went on a strike by starting a sit-in protest at the Iranian Bar Association in Tehran. Nasrin Sotoudeh wrote a letter to all citizens and human rights activists announcing that the main reason for her protest is her ban on practicing law by the second branch of the Disciplinary Investigation Panel of the Bar. On Tuesday, the 21st of October 2014, Nasrin Sotoudeh, a human rights lawyer, started her sit-in protest at the Iranian Bar Association in Tehran in protest against being prevented from practicing law. Shirin Ebadi, a lawyer and the winner of the 2003 Nobel Peace Prize, wrote an open letter in support of her Iranian colleague and announced that she will become active once again. Furthermore, a group of members of the International Organization to Preserve Human Rights in Iran held multiple meetings with members of the European Parliament and Foundation for Defense of Democracies and discussed the suppression of religious and ethnic minorities by different governmental organizations in Iran. In these series of meetings, members of the International Organization to Preserve Human Rights in Iran provided a complete file of pictures and testimonies of witnesses, as well as reports and statements by Dr. Ahmad Shahid, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, and the human rights organizations.
Pen magazine, of which Hassan Elmi is the editor and director, was banned after publishing 3 editions by the order of the Supervisory Committee of the University of Zanjan. The newspaper, 7 in the Morning, has been found guilty by the jury on charges of publishing lies to disturb the public opinion, after publishing a part of the second letter, which was written by Sadiq Ziba Kalam regarding the case of Amir Mansour Arya. The chief of the Saheb al-Zaman army of Esfahan claimed that they have destroyed the largest immoral group of cyber networks. He added that this group, which consists of 6 main branches, were recruiting and seducing young boys and girls by launching pornographic material via virtual networks. Sayyid Mahmoud Ebrahimi, a pastoralist, an expert member of Iran's National Foundation, a member of the Scientific Committee of the Baghi Ola Medical University, the head of the Razi Pharmaceutical Research Unit, and an active member of Mousavi's headquarters in the southern Fars province, was arrested and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment on Wednesday the 22nd of October 2014 due to his attempt to expose the multiple speculations against the endowment organization in the city of Mehr. The first steps of the implementation of intelligence systems filtering social networks and websites have been taken.
During the past week, at least 6 young women who were victims of the acid attacks were admitted to the Feyza Esfahan hospital. The ISNA confirmed that many articles relating to the recent acid attacks on women in Iran refer to the poor veiling of the victims on social media. Furthermore, on Sunday morning, 19th of October 2014, a motorcyclist in the city of Esfahan threw acid at 3 girls on the Sheikh Saduq street, one of whom lost her life as the acid made contact with her chest, and the other 2 girls were taken to the hospital. One of the victims' father said that the police have been unsuccessful in pursuing his daughter's case file. On Tuesday, the 21st of October 2014, Anta Daimi, a civil rights activist, was arrested at her own house by the Revolutionary Guards and transferred to an unknown location.
The judicial authorities are putting Ata Ola Rezvani's family under a lot of pressure for them to accept and close his court case. Ata Ola Rezvani was a well-known Baha'i who was shot dead in the outskirts of the city of Bandar Abbas. Branch 54 of the Court of Appeals has officially approved the 3 years imprisonment sentence of Sohail Arabi, which was issued by Judge Salavati in the Revolutionary Court. During the past week, Borzan Nasr Ola Zadeh, a Sunni prisoner held in the Rajai Shah prison, was transferred to the emergency medical centre outside of the prison. However, he was returned back to the prison after being prescribed some painkillers without any sufficient treatment. 3 Christian converts by the names of Behnam Irani, Reza Robani, and Abdul Reza Ali Haq Nejad have been sentenced to a total of 18 years imprisonment by the Revolutionary Court. Mostafa Daneshju, an imprisoned lawyer of the Gonabadi Dervishes in Evin prison, who had lost consciousness due to the side effects of heart arrhythmias and malfunctioning lungs, was returned from the prison clinic to Section 8 of Evin prison. During an exhibition celebrating 30 years of achievements by the Ministry of Intelligence with the title of 30 Years of Silent Struggles, they referred to the Gonabadi Dervishes as part of a misleading sect who are dependent on the capitalist countries.
On Friday, the 17th of October 2014, people who attended the Mixed Party Night, which was held in a countryside villa in East Azerbaijan called Yeylaq Sufyan, were arrested and sent to the judicial authorities. Jamshid Dehghani, a Sunni prisoner held in the Rajai Shah prison of Karaj, was physically abused by the officers of the visiting room. This incident resulted in a broken nose and a fractured bone above his right eye. Furthermore, on Saturday the 18th of October 2014, Ahmad Montazeri was summoned by the judiciary. Ahmad Montazeri is the eldest son of Grand Ayatollah Montazeri, who was a prominent Iranian scholar, Islamic theologian, Shia Islamic democracy advocate, writer, and a human rights activist. The second branch of the Lawyers' Disciplinary Court prevented Nasrin Sotoudeh from working as a solicitor for 3 years. Nasrin Sotoudeh's husband, Reza Khandan, wrote on his Facebook page that this court session was carried out by the request of the Evin Court in order to prevent Nasrin Sotoudeh from practicing law. Reports indicate that Fardin Jafarian, a prisoner who was charged with murder at the age of 14, was executed by hanging yesterday morning at the Central Prison of Tabriz. On Sunday the 19th of October 2014, a prisoner with drug-related crimes was executed by hanging in the Qazilhisar prison of Karaj. On Tuesday the 21st of October 2014, Reza Sargari, a teacher in one of the villages near the Qasargand city in the Sistan and Baluchistan province, was shot dead by an unidentified gunman. the Kisun Construction Company put 15 of its Ahwaz urban railway project workers on the to-be-fired list, whom in the recent protests were pursuing their claims and demands. 4 workers have already been fired as a result of this. Furthermore, on Sunday the 19th of October 2014, on the 33rd day since the start of the workers' protests in the Gilana tile factory, about 100 workers gathered at the dining hall of this unit and demanded trade union to be formed within this unit. The wages of 200 workers of the Parsilun yarn factory in the Lorestan province have been delayed due to the lack of financial resources. Furthermore, due to the failure in fulfilling the promises to pay the overdue wages of a group of construction workers in the phases 17 and 18 of the Asluya company, some workers left work as a result on Monday the 20th of October 2014. On Tuesday morning the 21st of October 2014, 200 retired textile workers in Mazandaran gathered in front of the governor's building in that city in order to protest against the uncertainty in the financial claims.
It has been 8 days since the arrest of Asu Rostami and Ali Nouri, and yet there is no clear information on their situation or whereabouts. Asu Rostami and Ali Nouri were arrested after their demonstration in support of the Kobani citizens. Furthermore, Khaled Hardani, a prisoner who was arrested 14 years ago and is now being held in the political section, Section 12 of the Rajai Shah prison, is being deprived of medical facilities and denied of medical leave, despite his numerous health problems. On Sunday the 19th of October, the father of one of the victims of the acid attacks in the city of Esfahan said that the progress of his daughter's course of treatment is unclear, and added that the disciplinary actions on his daughter's case file have not been very successful. The Iranian Association of General Surgeons informed of the rise in the number of breast cancer patients in Iran. This association also warned about the decrease in the age at which girls develop breast cancer. According to the statistics, 1 in 4 women are diagnosed with breast cancer. Reportedly on Sunday the 19th of October, Karim Maruf Aziz, a political prisoner held in the Rajai Shah prison of Karaj, was transferred to the Imam Khomeini Hospital due to his serious health deterioration. Mashallah Hayeri, a political prisoner in the Rajai Shah prison, was transferred to an emergency medical care centre outside of the prison. According to the news, Farhad Iqbali, a Baha'i citizen who is a prisoner of conscience, was transferred from the Evin prison to the Rajai Shah prison. Reportedly, the Rajai Shah prison's officials have asked prisoners for money in order to repair the prison doors and windows.
Growing up, my childhood was not easy. We were very poor, so my father forced me to work long, hard hours. He suffered from terrible mood swings. He was always shouting at me. Some days it just became too much. But there is one day that I will always remember. I was 14, cleaning the windows. I saw a notice for a public execution. I couldn't stop thinking about it. I imagined how the criminal might look, big and strong and dangerous. The execution date arrived. I squeezed my way through the crowd. I was so shocked. There was no strong, dangerous man. Only a very young man trembling as he awaited his fate. He was so young that he hardly had any stubble. I couldn't watch. As I looked back, the boy's body was hanging limp and lifeless. He had fair hair just like me. That experience motivated me to pursue law. Day and night I studied hard. What I'd read about in the law books was actually very different in reality. Most lawyers were too scared to take on cases involving stoning or hanging. And I wasn't scared. When defending a case, you think of them as your family. It's like your own child is burning in the fire created by the authorities and everyone is just standing by. It became my life's purpose to save these young people. Over the next 14 years, I defended many of these juvenile offenders, nearly 20 of whom were saved. One day I received a call about a young man who was only 17 when he committed his crime. I asked, "What's his name?" He answered, "Behnoud Shojaei." A fight had broken up. Behnoud intervened. One of the boys insulted Behnoud's dead mother. Behnoud grabbed a piece of glass, stabbed the boy, and fled the scene. The boy subsequently bled to death. Upon learning this, Behnoud immediately handed himself in and confessed to the police. He was sentenced on the 2nd of October, 2006. He was just 17 years old when he committed his crime. Over the next 3 years, Behnoud's execution date had been set and postponed 6 times. On the 7th occasion, I was summoned to Evin Prison at 3:30 a.m. It was still dark when the victim's family arrived. The crowd rushed toward them, begging them to forgive Behnoud. I remember the victim's father calmed the crowd, telling them he didn't want to actually see Behnoud executed, but he wanted to see the noose around his neck. They brought Behnoud in, handcuffed and shackled. He looked so pale and thin. His nose was running. He fell to his knees, begging for mercy. He was shaking, saying, "Please forgive me. My own mother is dead. You can be like my mother now. Please forgive me." She said, "Fine, let's see what happens." We all went to the execution room. A soldier helped Behnoud up and placed the noose around his neck. Finally, the official turned to the victim's parents, saying, "Here is Behnoud. What do you want to do now?" The victim's sister threw herself at her mother's feet, pleading her to forgive him. We were all shocked by what happened next. I recall they charged toward him. We all shouted, "No, no." After that, everything went black. Outside, the crowd were praying for Behnoud. I broke the news to them. They were crying so much. I cried so much. Yes, the stories of these cases are really very painful.